Welcome to my review of the Mangird Teas. As you can see there, as a full disclaimer, I bought these myself from Linshall. I was not paid to do this video, and all the thoughts and opinions are my own. And as you can see, this is quite a nice case, quite a nice presentation. And I've heard this is the latest revision, so other people who have this model don't have the accessories, which you'll see in a second. And yeah, let's get into the video. So this is what you get. The gold emblem, the Mangird Tea, opens like that, which I'll get to in a second. Information on the back, so obviously in English and Chinese. 6 and a 1, so it uses 6. It's a mixture of Sonian and Knowles drivers. First time I've ever had one with Sonians. And they do work quite well, which you'll find out later in the video. 18 ohm impedance, 112 decibels sensitivity. These are quite easy to drive, I had no issues. There's a frequency response to 20 Hz to 20 kHz, which is more than enough. I've got the 3.5 plug. You can obviously, when you buy them, you can pick which one. And mine is the 2-pin, which you'll see in a second. And that's it. So Mangird as a company, obviously in the Western world, aren't very known at all. If this wasn't for Linshall, I'd never heard of this company before. Mangird Tea, the Zens. It says in there. Pursuit, if I can get closer. Pursuit of high cost performance sound. Now this is the latest packaging. So some people who have these don't have what I have. So you get travel adapter for when you can actually go on planes again, which is there. Obviously 1/2 inch. Good to it. I wasn't expecting an airplane adapter. It's good to see that. So Zen's ear tips, if that's the correct pronunciation. Small, medium and large. Again, kind of like KZ, the Starline tips. Good to see these are a good choice. These small and medium, these are foam tips. So I'll just take one out for example. Quite a slow expansion. Personally, I typically use silicone tips. Instructions. Take a credit card, number 2122. Okay, so QR codes, I have no idea what that is. Maybe something to do with membership, I'm not quite sure. But if these are actually individually numbered, that's quite unique. I don't know if this actually is build 2122. That's pretty good. So now it's actually onto the meat and gritty, shall we say. So really nice case. When I first got these was actually attached to the cable, and they was on there they was the hardest cables to get off, but I got them off in the end. So this one is the right unit. So these are a hybrid. As you can see, it's like a really dark purple. So all the dynamic is here, and the armatures are, I think, just there. It's really hard to make out. You can just about see through. So Mangird. Camera on there. Really nice fit finish. Again, a revised model. Mine has the lip on the nozzle. Some of the older ones don't. You can see the vent for the dynamic, so that's the right. Blue is for left, which is kind of cool. That's more earphones should be like that. Very simple one, but at least at a glance you know which is left and right. And the cable itself. So yeah, I'll show you this cable in more in depth now, and you can see it's got a chin slider. So 3.5 straight connector. Not a big deal. Obviously because you can pick the different sizes. I guess it's a straight connector for the 2.5 and 4.4, keeps it standard, but I prefer right angled. It's just easier for portable gear. Strain relief, really nice cable. You can see the kind of how it's built. It's quite slightly got a bit of thickness to it. Good Y split. No real strain reliefs, but that shouldn't really be a problem. Chin slider, which works okay. To the end, R for right, if it focuses right. Preformed ear guide from about here, where my left thumb is. Yeah, quite flexible. It should say L. So yeah, quite a nice cable. I presume it's exactly the same cable you get for 2.5 and 4.4. Well, I presume so anyway, but yeah, it's a quite a nice cable. But like I said, bear in mind, when I received mine, they was on there very tight, so there's quite a struggle to get off. But yeah, good cable. So finally onto the review section. As you can see, much better light. That's what it looks like with tips. Comfort was really good. The shell is slightly large, well, only slightly large, but it must be the contours or the actual shell itself. But the fit on these is really good. Can't fault it at all. There's no really weird vacuum effect, which sometimes you get because obviously it's vented, as you can see. It's like a really dark, well, it looks kind of really like a dark purple. It's hard to see, but the dynamic driver is here, and you can see armatures just through there. You can't really see because of the light. So they use 6 balanced armatures and 1 dynamic driver per side. The 6 armatures are Knowles and Sonian, so they are quality ones, which I'll get to in a bit with the sound. So the fit and the comfort is really good. I had no issues at all, and they fitted me really well. Obviously, I don't know about everybody's ears, but for me, they was fine. Sound. The sound of these I found was very well balanced, with a little bit of, I wouldn't say slightly dark, I mean like it's slightly darkness. Easy to power, sensitivity, all that was fine, but the overall tonality on these is actually very good. Because they've used quite high quality drivers, you hear that. You hear these are a nicely tuned set. But I'd say the overall sound signature is balanced. It's probably the best way. They're not neutral, because they've got peaks in all the right places is the best way to describe it. But yeah, the low end, I'd say it is obviously a little bit elevated because it's got its own dynamic. These aren't leaning sound. They've got the right amount of kind of sub bass and mid bass. It's a high quality dynamic driver, so it's not like a one note low end. It's nicely textured. They've used a quality driver, and it tells in its performance. But yeah, no issues with the low end. It was the decay. The actual decay was fast. It did exactly what it should do. Mids, again, the mids are very clear. They're not shouty or nothing like that, which I'm quite glad they're not. Everything's very clear. It's very refined. The overall sound with these is the word refined comes to mind because they've used good drivers. But yeah, mids, everything was there. Everything was supposed to. Everything was clear. There's a little bit of elevation towards the top, but the whole mids is very clear. I had no issues at all with the sound. Yeah. Oops, I actually did just drop that by accident. Yeah, but mids was all good. Obviously blue for left, like I said. Treble, there's a bit of upper treble roll off. So something like a Dusk, which is around $30 more, I think, of this, has slightly more treble presence. But some people moan about the tonality of that sounding. It can sound a bit off. Like the actual tonality of the armatures can sound a bit off with that. But I don't have any issues with this model. But yeah, instrument separation, details and stages all very good, very balanced, kind of very natural sounding, which is quite a feat considering the armatures, because normally a single dynamic driver has a really natural kind of sound, and these have actually managed to pull that off with 6 armatures in there. So it does show that these are tuned quite well, and actually tuned by someone who knows exactly what they're doing, and they know the kind of end result they wanted. You can wait for it to focus. So it's like little, they look like leaves or plants, so they're little brown, but they are very nice. It's kind of really nice finish. Obviously 2-pin. I'm quite glad these aren't MMCX. But yeah, as an overall sound signature, they've done a really nice job, which you should do. Obviously, they're not priced in the budget section, but you are getting what you paid for. You're getting really nice build, fit, finish. Obviously, you saw the packaging, its presentation, the nice cable. You get plenty of tips. You are kind of getting what you pay for, and these are more a premium product. And you know that from seeing all that and from the sound. But yeah, they've done, the overall tonality is very good. I tried this on a lot of genres and it does an excellent job on everything. So these are not a one-trick pony, is probably the best way to describe it. But yeah, Mangird have done a nice job. A company you have to look out for in the future. There is a model which is below this, but I've not tried that. So I'm quite curious what Mangird make next, but yeah, it's quite a good product. They've done a really nice job, and you are paying for it, so obviously you have to bear that in mind. Something like this destroys a lot of the KZs I've tried, but obviously you're paying quite a lot more money. But yeah, good fit, finish, everything is supposed to be, and they've done a nice job. Now on to the conclusion. So on to the conclusion of the Mangird Teas, as you can see. Yeah, quite impressed really. They've done quite a nice job. Well, to be honest, they've done a very good job. As you can see, the fit, the finish, the tips, the build, how they fit, the presentation, it's all premium. And obviously for the price you kind of expect that. But yeah, everything with the sound, the low end, it punches, it's got good decay, it's not overly done, it's got control. All the mids are very clear, treble, very good separation, details, without any harshness. But yeah, these, hard to fault really. A company that needs to be kept an eye on to see what they do in the future. Obviously with this Tea, this is meant to be an upgrade from the Mangird 10. I don't know what that's like, but if they can upgrade to a model like this, obviously these are quite a good product. Quite a good company. Let's see what they do in the future. But yeah, I recommend these, as you can quite tell. They are priced out of people's pockets. They're not overly expensive. These are $299. So for the high end, these are not that expensive, but obviously these are beyond the normal kind of $100 range is what people spend money on, but you are getting what you're paying for. They are a nice product, premium product, and yeah, these are quite nice. If it's going to focus, I guess there you go. Yeah, so yeah, thanks for watching and take care.